All right, Marshall, we're going to get into a controversial topic.
Oh.
Okay.
Hey, I like controversy.
You and I have been doing rinseless, waterless, for a very long time. Me, in the car collection world, you can't always move cars out of a 50-car collection. They're not all, you're not pulling all of them out and pressure washing them. Some of it's dangerous to pressure wash. So I've been doing the rinseless, waterless thing for 13, 14 years. You're probably 15 years deep. Let's talk about the misconceptions to start this. Every single one of these I've used in my career, I've had to up the lubrication or up the dilution 10x from what a manufacturer said.
Yeah.
What was your experience?
Yeah, always, right? Like, when I first got started, when I thought of rinseless, waterless, some of that confusion is definitely what hit me, which is why I went that waterless, more traditional waterless route. I wanted 100% of the product out on the paint when my towel touched the surface.
Same for me. I always used a hybrid where I would kind of use something like a tint keg, sprayer, that I was doing a bunch of cars. Yeah. So I needed some help getting it on cars. And you don't want to always sit there.
Well, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
But it got tiring.
We were more 1 to 2 a day type of, we were hitting it.
So let's talk about the setup of the bucket. Let's talk about the setup of the sprayer. Let's talk about what you need to do. So I got Eco 1 here, which is our hybrid waterless and rinseless. I like to use a little bit stronger pre-soak dilution than most people. Mm-hmm. I want product on there.
I do, yeah.
This is not the time to cheapen out. We're working on a $100,000 Range Rover. Why am I going to save a few pennies?
Yeah,
I
it
see,
makes no sense.
256 to 1, 250. It's nonsense. Okay, that is perfectly fine in a rinseless bucket, but your pre-soak,
it needs to be stronger.
It needs to be stronger. And I think guys get so enamored with, I can just cut this and I can save so much money. And then you look at their cars they've been taking care of and you go, well, you marred it, you scratched it, you have towel marks everywhere.
You question rinseless, you question waterless, and then you skimp when you do it.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and fill the bucket, right? Yeah. So we got a couple gallons of water in here. We got a couple towels in here. The towel is important.
It was ultimately why I never got into rinseless.
Yeah, that's a good point, because here's one of the things I think people have to understand. Costco towels, Sam's Club towels, they all have a place. Mm-hmm. They usually have a place in the engine bay, fender wells. They don't have any place on the paint.
Well, what also doesn't, in my opinion, which is why I couldn't get into it, was the sponge.
Yeah, no,
that's why I couldn't. I just would watch people sponging a car, and I'm like,
it felt like a step backwards, not a step forward. Yeah. And I would totally agree with you. So we have Eco 1 here. This is in the gallon form. We have a couple gallons of water. We're going to put a few ounces. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and do the cat thing. Guys, this is affordable, okay?
I've always wondered why.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Again, you're working on a $100,000 vehicle. Why do you want less lubrication, less polymer, less everything that's the good stuff to protect the paint? I've never understood. What I just did there, the measuring thing I would have done, I'd have wasted more time, which would have cost me more money, right? Or, you're out there, you're working on your own car, and you're like, oh man, it's kind of cold in my garage.
Who isn't intellectual enough to go, after a few times of measuring a cap, I can mentally go, hey, I'm pouring, I can kind of mentally figure out how much I'm pouring. Yeah, and I think the average human being, most people can figure that out.
We all know how to salt our food.
Well, yeah, there you go.
You know how to salt your food because you've been eating food for quite some time. Right. You start to understand what you like, what you don't.
Well, it's like, oh, you got to do this. Like, well,
we got a bucket here, 2 Versatiles. If you need more, and this is what I say all the time, if your car's extremely dirty, you're going to need 10 towels in there just to protect yourself, because you may have a situation that you're really trying to do it on too dirty of a vehicle. Mm-hmm. So let me tell you my thoughts. There's a cutoff to this, personally.
Yeah.
Okay? If I come up and there's mud and there's dirt, everything's flung on the side, use a pressure washer, use a garden hose, get that stuff off. Just because you have this and this is what you're choosing doesn't mean you can't rinse the car off. Mm-hmm. Let me give you another thing. If I come up, I'm in a dusty area. You're in Phoenix, Los Angeles, San Diego, in Florida in some places near the beach. If you're battling dust or sand, get a blower out. and blow your car off.
There you go.
You know, if you don't have a hose, if you don't have a pressure washer, because just because you go this route doesn't mean you can't rinse the car off.
And or some people are like, well, how do you clean the wheel?
Use the pressure
If you
washer.
want to clean your wheel, yeah, go ahead and use
The
it.
deepest clean.
You can, right? You can spray on a towel, you can spray on a wheel, and you can go and wipe. You can, right? You can do a couple towels, you can change that. Or, yeah, if you got a lot of brake dust, you got a power washer, go ahead and spray them off.
You're not going to get as deep a clean. Yeah. Let's be clear about something. This is kind of what I've despised around this conversation. Don't tell me I'm going to get a deep a clean with this as a pressure washer. It's a different thing. It's allowed to be different. Too many people are like, well, that's what I did at my shop for 15 years. Well, then you didn't have the cleanest cars in the city. Plain and simple, because you're not going to beat a pressure washer with this.
And even we would not use a pressure washer in somebody's garage, right?
Exactly.
So a lot of our mobile service is around in a garage. And so when you bring it in here, right, yeah, we'll see some areas, right? You can see what cracks, there's innate areas that, maybe you don't get 100% with a rinseless.
Well, let's think about it common sense wise. If I put a pressure washer into all these cracks and crevices on this grill, what's going to be cleaner? That pressure washer or me? How many of us are going to be able to take a towel and get into all these? So it's just common sense.
Yeah, so that if somebody is concerned, maybe that's where you do that keg, right? If you do the keg, you got a little pressure. It's not a pressure washer, right?
Yeah, I mean, we would get that up to 100 PSI.
Sure, you can get a little.
And you know, you're 40, 50, 60, 80, whatever the number is, I forget on the chuck. You can use it that way. And again, this doesn't make this a bad method. It means stop believing the internet hype. Let's put our thinking cap on for 5 seconds ago. This definitely has its place. Car collection, I can't move the cars. This is what you got to do. I'm going to a car show. Stop with the quick detail spray. Use something like this. This is formulated to clean your car, clean dust, clean things off your car. This is what the car show guys should be using. If you're in the wintertime, you're in Wisconsin, you can't go outside and pressure wash. Okay? You want to keep your portion nice.
Right?
Yeah, northeast.
We hear it a lot.
This is a great option. But this idea that I'm going to run an elite shop on this method, you're not an elite shop. Plain and simple. Okay? This has a place. So let's get into it. We've put a couple ounces in the bucket. We got a couple towels soaking. Now we're going to talk about going ahead and pre-soaking the car down. Okay? You're going to see me do this a lot. Like you said, I'm the master shaker. Give it a little, give it a little shake. And now, this is where I'm not going to be cheap. Okay? If I have to go, we're using our 16s, we sell 32s, tint keg, pump sprayer, doesn't matter, right? You can use our Marilex that we have in our store. I am going to soak this down because this is the cleaning solution. When is it negative to put more cleaning solution on a dirty vehicle? We use a foam cannon. That's a lot of soap. We get to this and we're like, how do I use a capful? Why are we cutting a corner on something that's not as efficient as a pressure washer? You can't cut a corner here. So I think that's one of the things I want to get across when we're doing this is I love this method. We use it all the time, but we use it what we would call the hybrid method. Be intelligent about what you're looking at. We've talked so many times on our videos about assessing the car you're working on. This car's in pretty good shape, but it is dirty. I know it's going to be hard to pick up on camera. You got this gray color, it's going to hide, but you can see here.
You got some dirt. Yeah, you should be able to see some.
Yeah, and so because we're on camera here, one of the things that I tell people is that the camera will do some things to make it so you guys can watch it a little better. Would I probably start on the roof if I was doing this in my shop or doing it in someone's garage? Yeah, I'd probably start on the roof. For the camera, we need to kind of start where everybody can see the process. Now, because we didn't cheapen out here, and this is where another thing for me, often guys wring their towel too much, okay? As you can see, my towel, and because I have a high GSM, lower pile towel, this is very heavy. This is filled with a lot. This, grabbing it and squeezing it as hard as you can is a big no-no, okay? Because now I've taken too much solution out. So I always grab it, give it a light squeeze. I still got some drops coming off. That's about good for me. Okay, that's where I stay. So I'm gonna fold it into 4s. One of these things is always check that you don't have any debris on your towel. And we're gonna go ahead and very lightly, and one thing you'll notice about Eco1 or about any rinseless product that we're gonna put on the market, the first and foremost thing is not the word polymer that you're worried about. It's the lubrication in the formula. Lubrication is what keeps you from scratching paint, okay? Now, this car is just a perfect example of a great rinseless opportunity, waterless opportunity, well cared for, but still dirty, okay? This is the kind of guy that wants his vehicle to look a certain way. He wants to drive it around in a certain way. Many of you out there are like this. I'm like this with my vehicles. Rinseless and waterless is a good opportunity for me in my own personal vehicles because of the care that I take, right? So I'm always flipping the towel. And the good thing is, even out here, you can see, because this car is cared for, we're not dealing with a lot of bugs. You know, which you would deal with on some other cars we've worked on. But there's no pressure. When I'm on the front of the car, it gets hammered. I may flip it a little bit more. But this is what we're talking about. Now, to really care for this on an elite level, you're gonna have to work your towel into this grill to get it clean, right? And this is where it becomes highly inefficient, right? And so it's not always the most efficient way if you're trying to do an elite process, but it's still something good. Now, I'm not going back to the bucket here. I'm just gonna put this on the side.
So why? Why didn't you go dip it down in the bucket like we would have washed it or something, you know? Like, let's just get some more product on the...
We've been showing...
You got a grid guard in there, don't you? Come on. There's a time you got to make sure you get a grid guard, get that back.
So I think you know, we're a 1 bucket method. Stay organized. I still have the whole yellow side of that towel I haven't used. I don't want to infect the bucket. We'll throw a couple more towels in there because we'll need some more on this vehicle. But now we're gonna go and we're gonna dry it, okay? You can use the Versatile, you can use a twist loop, whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and do something here a lot of people don't show. I'm gonna take what we call a drying aid, okay? This is our slick product. Couple spritzes. Because we have so much lubrication, I like adding the extra protection. Again, this is where we kind of think about, what am I doing this for? Well, I'm doing this to get the best result possible. And I always will vote 100% of the time for adding more protection. 100% of the time. And one of the great things is the slickness that's left behind, not only by Eco1, but also by slick with a little bit of drying aid action. Don't cut a corner here. If you would use a drying aid as a final step of a foam cannon wash, why wouldn't you use it as a final step for rinseless? Again, another thing I see skipped of elite processes. This is an elite process. We now have a perfectly clean hood. We're gonna go ahead and hit the bumper. I need a little more slick here. And again, because I have Eco1, I'm just giving it a couple sprays, 1 spray on my towel, and I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna finish this out. I think, again, there's a big frustration. Guys, like you said, they see the sponge, they're never gonna do it, right? They're never gonna,
Not on the sponge.
And so...
That's why I joked about going back to the bucket, right? Because they would say, yeah, just go dip it back in the bucket, move over to this other bucket. Magically, got a great sponge back working on the car. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah, well, this magically the dirt's all gonna fall to the bottom 100% of the time. That doesn't happen. You can look in your own bucket. You don't have to take my word for it. And the reality that we face is there's just an elite level way to do things, and then there's people acting elite. This is an elite process. I'm gonna go ahead and get my glass, if you would for me. Go ahead, and I need a little step stool to get that top.
Well, I was hoping you could get it. My arms didn't reach far enough.
I know. So you're like, I just think I might skip this.
No, I was hoping you'd hit it.
I was trying. So, you know, one of the things, man, is know your process and know what you can accomplish with this and what you can't. And again, if you're in the wintertime, this is way better than missing out.